What is going on, guys? Austin Sire here. Let's talk some reality TV. Haven't said that in a while. So I know a lot of you have been wondering why I stopped covering this season about halfway through, and I'm going to tell you that right before I get into the finale. Basically, I completely lost interest in the season, to be honest. I knew from about halfway through the season that Sarah was inevitably going to win the game. This, to me, was the most obvious winner edit in the history of Survivor. Now, I'm sure it really wasn't the most obvious, but back in the day, I didn't really look for winner edits. But now I know, I understand how it works, and I knew for a 100% fact Sarah was going to win this game. I wasn't even spoiled, and I just knew. And with that, all of my favorites went out so early. Everyone with the exception of Sari, who I was very excited to see, went home pre-merge. And when I watch Survivor, I want to root for somebody. I jump up and down when my favorite wins immunity. But sitting there watching Sari, knowing the inevitability that she will be voted out and won't win the game, was just hard to watch. So basically, with my knowledge that Sarah was almost 100% going to win the game, I did not want to cover the episodes and just pretend like I didn't see what was coming. The beginning of this season was absolutely fantastic. It was crazy. I was passionate about every single one of the episodes that I did. Malcolm going out was insane. Tony going out, I was so upset. It was a fantastic first half of the game. After that, though, I just could not care less who was voted out, with the exception of Sari. So I want to apologize to all of you who looked forward to the videos every week. I will get back to doing this next season of Survivor. I didn't lose passion for Survivor. I just straight up lost passion for this season. And to be honest, I don't think this was a bad season. I think Sarah played a great game. I'd say in my season rankings, which I might make a video on one day, this would rank probably about right dead in the middle. It wasn't absolutely horrible, but it wasn't great either. That might be a hot take. If you love this season, more power to you, but I just lost interest. But to be honest, covering this season on here has been the absolute highlight of the season. So let's do it one more time and cover this finale. So let's start with the first tribal council of the episode, and it was one of the craziest of the season. Basically, what happened was everyone played their idols and advantages at once, resulting in one person being eligible to be voted out. And of course, as the luck of this season would have it, Sari was the person who went home with 0 votes. Now, I've seen a lot of mixed reception over this online, and I honestly am upset about it. I'm upset. I loved Sari. Sari was my favorite throughout this entire season, basically. It stung worse than basically anything this season. Some people are saying that it made for a crazy, interesting tribal council, and it did. When that was happening, I was like, what in the world is going on? But then the result was just, you got voted out of Survivor without receiving a vote. It's called voted out for a reason, isn't it? I honestly feel like I'm being very negative in this video, and I'm sorry if I'm like bringing you guys down, but a lot of things about this season did frustrate me. But honestly, if Sari was going to go out, this was the way to do it. Sari has never really been voted out by traditional means. She was voted out due to a fire-making challenge, by 1 vote in the final 3, a split vote and an idol by Tom Westman, and now by Advantage Geddon receiving 0 votes. Honestly, I think this just adds to Sari's legacy because that is a crazy resume. So in that sense, this was pretty cool. Next up is the Aubrey Tribal Council. I was really rooting for Aubrey this season. She was one of the few left who I actually had been rooting for before the season started. And the big thing about this Tribal Council was Sarah, Ty, and Aubrey had the option to flip the game on its head against Aubrey and Brad. Had those 3 went together, they would have had a 3-1 advantage over Brad in the event that he lost immunity next round. Was voting Aubrey out the right decision? Well, clearly for Sarah, but Brad did have the option to get rid of Sarah right there, and he just did not see how much the jury would respect her game. So this wasn't a fatal flaw on Brad's part because he had an option to get rid of Sarah again in next tribal council, But now knowing the results of the season, I'm sure Brad wishes he could have this one back. And the next tribal council, the fatal flaw in the game of Brad Culpepper. I'm not gonna lie, I was sweating a little bit. The only intrigue I had left in this season was whether or not I was going to look like a complete idiot, because in my prediction video, I said this. Making a winner prediction for this season was actually extremely hard for me because so many people stand out, whether they have absolutely no chance of winning, Brad Culpepper, or are just completely an unknown. The two that I ended up narrowing it down to are Malcolm and JT. Malcolm and JT. Malcolm and JT. And throughout my absence, this has been the video getting the most comments because people are just laughing at the fact that I picked Malcolm and JT and that I said Brad had a 0% chance of winning this game. And it is really funny, honestly. Had Brad made this move, he would have won the game, as we saw at the reunion. So I would have looked like an idiot. It would have been hilarious, but I would have been just a little embarrassed. This was honestly just Brad having a bad read on the jury. It was out of Sarah's hands at this point. But what are you gonna do? Sarah had such a great grasp on this game that Brad didn't even see how great she was, so props to Sarah. We also got a new final tribal council format, and honestly, I think it worked pretty well. I'm not sure if I want it to replace the old format. Honestly, I didn't have a problem with it. So if they kept it going for a few more seasons, I honestly wouldn't mind. The only thing I would really change about it is that sectioning it off into outwit, outplay, outlast just seemed a little bit weird to me. I think they should just let them talk and not have it structured like that, because separating them into categories just kind of like breaks off the conversation on my part, but it's not that big a deal, honestly, so I'm just not going to complain because that's basically all I've done in this video. And with that, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about from the finale. I hope you guys enjoyed this season. I hope you enjoyed my coverage for the little that I did this season. And thank you guys so much for the support. I'm gonna try to be way more consistent next season and throughout Big Brother. Hopefully I have time to make a lot of videos about that because I'm on summer vacation now. So I'm not nearly as busy as I was during the Survivor season, so hopefully I can get you at least a weekly Big Brother video for those of you who watch it. And if you have any Survivor off-season videos that you'd like me to make, feel free to make requests. You know, over summer vacation you get bored a little bit, so who knows, I might just see one of your requests and feel very passionate about making it and then milk that video out in 2 or 3 days. Who knows? But that's it for this video, so I guess for now, I'll see you in the next one.